Welcome back to Slot Car Fun. The Batmobile. Yeah. Let me give you a brief history of my experiences with Batman. Of course, I grew up during the late 50s. I was born in 52, and by the late 50s, I was reading Batman comics. In fact, by the 60s, I was really reading them. I love Batman because out of all the superheroes, he was something that any of us could have become if we wanted to, if we had the money and the physical ability. We didn't need to be from Krypton. We didn't need to get dosed with radiation or something like that. So it was believable that somebody with a vendetta for criminals could actually become this superhero. And what I liked about the original Batman as compared to the movies today, which I don't really enjoy much, is that he didn't need body armor. He was so good at what he did that he very seldom got hurt. He did, but very seldom. And that's what made him a real superhero. He didn't need body armor. And plus the cars were so much cooler. Today they look like military vehicles, but back in the 50s they looked like a really cool 50s car. I love that design. They also, of course, it kept changing. And when we got to the TV show, which as a 13-year-old kid, I liked, but I didn't like it being so campy because Batman's a pretty serious, dark character, and I preferred him that way. But nevertheless, I enjoyed the series. I enjoyed Adam West. He was a wonderful human being who I got to work with. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I loved the car. The car was just incredible. Just like the Black Beauty from the Green Hornet was incredible. And if you're listening, Scalextric, can we please have a Black Beauty? I would really like to have a Black Beauty. I know Revell made one, and but your Batmobile is really nice. So I also got to be Batman about 8 years ago. I built a complete Batman outfit, and Mary was Harlequin, and we did a number of Halloween parties and Halloween events, and I made the cowl and the whole costume myself. Mary's looking right now for pictures of it. We can't find any. But trust me, I really did play Batman. It was really cool. When I was a kid, I made my own Batman costume. And I made up my friend across the street as Robin. And we used to sneak out in the night in full costume and go on little adventures. And it was a lot of fun. But we both loved Batman. It was just a really cool thing. So, okay, flash forward. I have a Hollywood career. I came to Hollywood. And of course, I came here as... I started with Francis Ford Coppola as a filmmaker and ended up in LA and got into special makeup effects. Worked on the Planet of the Apes TV show, and I went from there and worked on all kinds of stuff from Ghostbusters to Fright Night to doing Mr. Spock's ears for Star Trek movie and working with Gene Roddenberry. I had a very colorful career. But one of the highlights was I was a Hollywood Gorilla Man. If you look me up, Steve Neal, Hollywood Gorilla Man, you will find me in the Hollywood Gorilla Fame website, wherever it is, and it'll tell you all about all the different things I did. But one of my favorite things I did was a show called The Last Precinct, and that starred Adam West. So I got hired to play a gorilla in one of the episodes, and I had a lot of screen time on that. Of course, I'm a SAG actor and everything, so, but the story is great. I'm sitting there with the head off after being up on top of a building top, acting like it was King Kong, and radio controlled airplanes dive bombing me and all this stuff. So we took a break, and I'm down there, and I get the head off, and I'm kind of sweaty and tired. And over comes Adam West in his policeman's uniform, and he walks over to me, and I'm still sitting down, and he's a pretty tall guy. He's towering over me. He says, "Hello, my name is Adam West, and I just wanted to say that your gorilla suit is the most wonderful suit I've seen ever in my career. And I just think your work is fantastic." And I just sat there going, I can't believe it, you know? He's a childhood hero. This is Batman, and he's telling me who he is? I said, "Adam, of course I know who you are. I love you. I love the Batman TV series, of course, but I said I also liked you in Robinson Crusoe on Mars." And he kind of lit up and said, "Oh, you saw that movie?" I said, "Yeah, and the Outer Limits episodes you did, and a lot of other things." And he really loved that fact that I knew him for more than just Batman. We had a nice conversation, and we worked well together throughout the show. And it was a real special moment in my life to work with that guy. He was such a kind and nice human being. So that's my Batman stories. There's more to them all, but I don't want to go all night about it. Let's take a look at the car, because when this car came out, I had already built the Revell one, which we'll also look at, and I wasn't really happy with that one, and I could never quite get it to run well, but I did eventually get it to run at least on the track. But when Scale Electric came out with this one, I had to have it. Okay, so here's the car, and I'm sure that just about all of you Batman fans, and even some of you that aren't, that just like to collect Scale Electric cars, got this car. And it's a wonderful car, I think, because it's accurate. And there are not many models of the models that are out there are accurate. I have several at the studio. I collect them. I even have the Batmobile from the first Batman picture, because I worked on the second one with Tim Burton. And that's another Batman story. I worked with Tim Burton. There's another cool story about that. I was puppeteering and working on the Penguins, and working with V. Neal, and I love that car. Of course, I worked on the visual effects as well a little bit with Bob Sokotak. I was actually working on Honey, I Blew Up the Kids, and they were doing Batman at the same time, and I love that version of the Batmobile, and I have a great model of that. Now, this is a metal die-cast model, and even the Batman figure is die-cast. He's pretty hard. I love this one. Whenever I see a Batmobile I order it. The pinstripes are faded, unfortunately. But the doors open on both sides, and it does have Robin in it, unlike this one, which doesn't have Robin. It didn't bother me. It bothered a lot of you, but it didn't bother me because I've never been a big Robin fan. But this model's pretty neat. Dusty, too. It's pretty darn neat, and it's just all die-cast metal. Boy, this would make an interesting 1/24 scale Batmobile. But I love it. It's pretty darn accurate. It's got the right hub caps on it or the mag wheels, and you can have Batman standing outside the door. Love it. Love metal die-cast models, and he sits here underneath my large editing computer screen. Let's go take a look at this one. Excuse me, Rosie. This has been beat to hell. Also dusty. It gets really dusty back here because there's this vent to the alley that we have to have because of that water heater. The dreaded water heater. I dread the day it goes bad and they have to replace it and my slot car set's in the way. So let's take a look at this one. Now, there's a lot of inaccuracies in it that Revell, they just didn't get it right. They really didn't. It's okay. It's still pretty cool, but this one is really accurate. There's just stuff that's wrong. And what I find interesting here is that it is supposed to have red trim right there, and it doesn't. It has it there, and I suspect that's for this reason. Maybe you flip over, you don't rub it off over time. I don't know, but even on this model, the trim is in that location. They all vary a bit. This one's got some white coming off the edge of this. This is supposed to also have white coming off of it. The wheels on this are not accurate because I changed everything. I mean, everything that came with it. It hasn't been run for a while, so it's very dirty, but you can see the frame on it and the fact that I changed the tires. And I guess they picked up gray paint from the track. I don't know how that happened. Maybe I ran it when the paint was still wet. I think I changed the motor, crown gear, real axles in it. And I don't even know if it runs still. Let's find out. It probably needs work. My handy Professor Motor Controller, my favorite. It probably won't get very far. The brushes are so dirty. Anyway, it does run. So let's take a look at this one. We're gonna take the bottom off of it. Okay, we got the top of we got the body off. Very typical Scale Electric. very ballsy motor there. You know, just basic nylon bearings, nylon crown gear, and pinion. Lights, which are always nice. They didn't put tail lights in, or I would have had the engine light up at least. And even there's a way to do it, and it could still be done. I think about things like that, and I think, well, why? I love the fact that they put this logo underneath. That is actually the logo from the original comic book, not the TV series, but the TV series adapted it. It's the same one that's on my shirt, and that was from the original comic. Here, I'll show you again. There you go. And that is actually from the comics, not the TV series. The TV series adapted it. I love this. This is my favorite. So not much to show here. I mean, you know, it's a basic plastic frame. There's no motor pod or any of that kind of stuff. And we pretty much suspect that. But you know what? It's the Batmobile, and I don't care. And there's a lot of Scalextric bashing. I don't bash them. I love the cars they give us. I've got some cars here, the Formula cars, the Jackie Stewart cars, some of the Formula cars that run very, very well with a little bit of tuning. And it's nice that we can get a car that looks like the car from a movie or a TV show. I'm trying to find an example besides a Batmobile. You know, well, like for instance, I love, I can't find anything. Oh yes, the Lotus Cortina over here. We talked about that car, I think, before. Wonderful. Great detailing, looks like the actual car, even the one that they did the livery based on, and it runs pretty good. I mean, it's not bad. So there's a lot of cars from them. There's the Jaguar C, or is that the D, that I love so much? Oh yes, this car runs really very well, and I love vintage glory days of racing cars that not many companies give you, but Scalextric does. So I'm very grateful to Scalextric. I like their tracks. I think they're great. And now that Travis was so kind as to show us their haunt, I think it was Travis that showed us their actual building and went inside. That was really cool. So I think they're great. Look at the detail. We've got the phones in there. I think that's the emergency thing he pulled back on, I forget. But, you know, really, it's really quite accurate. And this is supposed to be silver back in here, and they got that right. They got a lot of things right. They didn't even do that on this one, I don't think. No, they left that out. There's the phone, there's the fire extinguisher. We got the fire extinguisher in there, too. I think they did a great job. So let's put it back together and put it on the track. Okay, hey, guess what? This needs new brushes. That's all it is. I cleaned off them a little bit. I was able to get it around the track. This is that pesky Revell one that I know you've all tried. Look, nice fishtail there. You know, he figures once I start using one hand to film, everything goes wrong. Yeah, like I said. You'll have to take my word for it, which you never will, probably. Yes, we're in the death zone here. God. Jeez. God, we have a hard life in slot carring. It actually goes pretty good. You know, once I clean it and everything, it'll go a lot better. But let's look at the Scalextric one. That was just to show you folks out there that, yes, the Revell model can get... Thank you, Dave Kennedy, for Slot Car News, as I see your stuff on my track. I'm laughing because he said, it's just so weird to see your stuff on other people's tracks. Well, get used to it, Dave. In this hobby, you're a star. So, you're a star anyway. But we're going to run the Scalextric one. And now, there's no magnet in it. And I'm having the same issues with their damn tires. Darn tires, sorry. This is Batman. Okay. But I kind of worked on the tires a bit. And it doesn't do badly. And it runs really well. The horribly fast, but of course it is the Batmobile. It's jet powered. I won't even go down up. That's as much as I'll do because the bots will get me. Funny story is, some of you may have seen my serious Star Trek movie that I made, that I finally finished on YouTube, and I had a copyright ding on it for the theme, which was the owner, who is some company that's was all in Spanish, claimed to own the copyright, and that's just crazy. They don't own the copyright. So that just shows you YouTube doesn't even know what's going on. But you can still see it. They put their darn ads on it, and it's kind of annoying. But Star Trek Serious, look it up. Yeah, it's a long story with that one. Let me get this in some sunlight. There you go. That's the Batmobile from Scale Electric. I know it's been reviewed before, but you never saw it reviewed by someone who actually worked with Batman himself and knew him, Adam West. And in fact, before he passed away, I had sent him a picture. He had a contest that he was running because he loved Batman. Why wouldn't he? It was a contest for send me pictures of your own Batman contest. And so I sent him a picture of me as Batman, and I reminded him of the day we worked together and the fact that I worked with his son, Hunter, for a good year or so at a studio. And Hunter was a great guy too, just like his dad. And he remembered me, and he wrote back some very kind things and told me how much he loved my costume and everything. And of course I didn't win because, well, technically speaking, I'm a professional. And I really wasn't entering as much as I was saying, hey, look, Adam, remember me? And we worked together, and I was in the gorilla suit, and this is my Batman costume. And it was really, really cool. I wish I had kept the email I got back from him, but actually I may have it, you know. I may want to dig that up somewhere. But anyway, that was my Batman review by someone who actually worked with Batman. I love this car. Scale Electric, if you're watching, keep making cars like this, because guys like me really appreciate them and really love them. And again, Black Beauty, hint, 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 Black Beauty. And if you guys don't know what Black Beauty is, you younger people, you look up the Green Hornet and take a look at that Lincoln that was turned into this amazing car in which a series I also like, the Green Hornet. See you next time with Slot Car Fun. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please like, and also please subscribe and look through my other videos, because there's a lot of my Hollywood career in there which is still going on to this day. Yep, that's right. I'm still in the movie business, film business. Movies, Academy Awards, Hollywood, filmmaking, film, art. That's what I'm still doing. Anyway, see you guys next week.